Thank you, Rabbi Jessica, for such a beautiful, what a beautiful Shabbat. Can you hear me? May the 4th be with you. Do you know that one? Yes. It's May 4th. But on the Jewish calendar, it's the 19th of Iyar. And today, we counted a different number. We counted the 34th of the Omer. I'm bragging, but I will count with a bracha tonight. What that means, how is that a brag? There's a halacha that's somewhat annoying. A Jewish law that we count the Omer from the second night of Passover all the way through till the holiday of Shavuot, which is in 2 weeks. And every night that we count, we say a blessing that God commanded us to count the Omer. If you miss a night, I know. If you miss a night of the 49 nights, you're not allowed to say a blessing the next day. And if you miss a day, you can't say a blessing for the rest of the time. Can you imagine? It's such a strange law, and it has driven me crazy most of my life because I've never actually made it to 34 days. So there's partial credit. You can count. You just can't count with a blessing. A colleague of mine who's a kindergarten or a first grade teacher, Liba Kornfeld, who some of you may know, wrote that is not a good motivator. If you tell someone they can only get partial credit for something, they don't really want to do it. Who wants to count the Omer if you don't get to say a blessing, which may not seem like a huge punishment to many of us, but it feels like, okay, I missed, and now I have to say it half-heartedly. I have literally tried everything. I've had a calendar by my bed, I've had a kitchen magnet, and I've gotten a daily email. None of those has been enough. This is my first year that I'm actually up to date, and the only reason that I am is because of an app called Omer Counter. Check it off, it beeps. And for many years, I've really wondered about this. Seriously, it's a thing for me. I'm so annoyed by the fact that Judaism punishes you, that the rabbis gave you this weird punishment of partial credit if you didn't count every single night. So I want to tell you that for the first time this year, I think I may have a new understanding of that. So this is Shabbat Emor. Tomorrow morning we will read about the Omer. We will read, Usfartem lachem mimocharat haShabbat. You should count for yourselves this from the first week, from the day after, this lovely little verse. And the verses about the Omer appear in the center of a list of the holidays. So first we learn about Shabbat, we learn about Pesach, we learn about the Omer, and then we learn about the next holiday, Shavuot. So the Omer right now, we are literally in the middle. We are in between the past and the future. On the one hand, today, Friday, we counted 30 days from Pesach. We counted from the past. This is what our history is. But we're also very much aware of what's coming forward, what's coming in the future, the holiday of Shavuot, the Sinai moment. We're in between those two. We're reckoning with the past, but we're also keeping our focus firmly on where we are headed. We're headed toward Sinai, revelation, a deep understanding of Torah and life's lessons. So the Omer keeps us in the present, day 34, but aware of where we've come from and where we're headed. The Omer forces us to live in the moment, but kind of like Kierkegaard said, life can only be understood backwards, but it has to be lived forward. That's the Omer, right there. So no wonder you can't miss a day. You have to live in the moment. But this is so much harder than it seems, right? We're always being told, live in the moment, live in the moment, live in the moment. Thank God it's only 49 days, because who could live in the moment for 365? There's another halacha, another rule that I think is interesting about how to count the Omer, and that is that you have to count the Omer for yourself. Now, it turns out there are a lot of mitzvot, a lot of Jewish laws that someone else can do for you. If you don't know how to say the Amidah, or you don't feel like it, the person up front, Rabbi Jessica, or the Shaliach Tzibur, the representative of the Tzibur, can say the Amidah for you. You get credit. If you go to dinner on Shabbat and one person says the Kiddush, and they have you in mind, you get credit. But did you know that you cannot get credit for someone else's motzi? What that means is Grandpa Moshe says the motzi at the bar mitzvah. You have to say the blessing over the bread for yourself. It's a really interesting principle. The principle is that you have to appreciate the things that you are taking in on your own. Right? You can't have someone else say, Modim anachnu lach. You can't have someone else say, I'm grateful for you. If I get a gift and I have someone else say thank you, how does that look? So there are a few blessings that you must do on your own. The Omer is one of them. No one else can mark time for you. You have to do the act yourself. The Ramban Nachmanides said that word, usfartem lachem, you must count for yourselves, means you have to do it for yourself. And it's different from when the Torah is talking about the Jubilee year. 50 years, it says, usfarta lecha. The Jubilee year, at the end of 50 years, the Beit Din, the great court in Jerusalem, declares it's been 50 years. We're counting for everyone. It's a big public thing. But the marking of every single day has to be a private and individual thing. Recognizing 50 years, communal responsibility. Recognizing day to day, our own. Just like saying thank you. Recognizing the daily passage of time has to be a solo activity. Because each of us has to do a reckoning of our own time. Our past, our history, our Mitzrayim, where we come from, and our Torah, our revelation, where we're headed. Usfartem lachem. Do this, count for yourselves. But it's also something that you have to count for yourself. Lachem. You have to count because it's making you count. There's such a beautiful teaching by Rabbi Yaakov Tzvi Mecklenburg. It's like unbelievable to me. I actually would like to read you 3 pages in Hebrew, but I'm not going to. It's got from the Ktav Kabbalah. He says this: Milat lachem eino tosefet. The word lachem is not an add-on. She'ein bo tzarech, that has no need. But rather, it is the ikar. It is the central piece, doing this for yourself. He says, basically, you have to count days to count not quality. I'm sorry, not quantity. but quality. He says, it's k'moshe yitnaheg ha'adam bekablo michavero sach ma min hadamim. It's like you get from your friend, you get a little bundle of money, coins. Now, of course, you count them because you want to be sure there are exactly that number of coins. And you look at every coin. But you actually look to see, is this a real coin? Is this one some other country coin that won't go into the machine? Is this coin too destroyed? Is it too dirty? Can it be used? That's what we do with our own days. When it says you count for yourself, it's you count how is the quality of your days. How is each day? You can count them. But you also have to count them and notice. It's a really powerful idea to me because it's about what it means to live well. The world today wants to own our brain space. The world wants to just like climb up in there and obsess us about something. But you are the owner of your own brain space. You are the owner of your own time. You get to decide, each of us gets to decide how we want to use our consciousness, and if we notice the passage of time, that's a choice that we get to make. Now, I am not saying that this is easy, but that is why if you miss a day, you miss the blessing in that day. It's an aspiration to mark time perfectly. Noticing time pass is one of those things that you kind of have to do every minute, or you miss a lot. Thoreau said that if you waste time, you're injuring eternity. Oh, that's so much pressure. It's like an unbelievable amount of pressure. It's terrifying to me that I just spent, an hour playing Jeopardy. That's terrifying. And yet, if I can at least once a day notice the time, look at the day, look at the passage of time, maybe I can aspire to more of a blessing. It's good timing in the year to be counting. Because in this season between Pesach and Shavuot, we are deeply aware of time fleeting. Look at the cherry blossoms. They're so incredible right this minute. And if you miss this minute, you miss the blessing. Poof, they're gone. You can look at them on the ground. That is what the Omer is teaching us, I think, about our lives. We are cherry blossoms. It goes by so quickly. Let's not miss a moment. Let's not miss a single day. And perhaps we will never miss a single blessing. Shabbat Shalom.